The SADC region has seen unprecedented levels of unrest, including calls for a democratic regime in the Kingdom of Eswatini, the last absolute monarchy in Africa. Elsewhere, insurgents displaced over 30,000 people in Mozambique's Palma region in March. This is while violent protests and looting in South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng areas continue following the imprisonment of former President Jacob Zuma. In the process, dozens of people were killed and infrastructure destroyed, including banks, a police station, and food and aid warehouses, amongst others. The NCCI's Muya says for a country like Namibia, which relies heavily on food imports, the unrest should serve as a wake-up call to intensify production of homegrown basic needs and cut dependency on imports.
We don't want also to see a situation where consumer goods prices also pick up because of the demands and also the supply disruption or the chain around there actually being disrupted. That would mean that obviously some of the sectors, key sectors, obviously be heavily impacted. They may have to, again, go back to almost closure when we were actually hoping to see a little bit of opening up of these economies. Jobs obviously will be seriously affected. And I think for Namibia, maybe this is a serious wake-up call, if I must actually say, because even during the lockdown, we saw the impact that was actually on our economy. At the moment, I think there has to be serious focus on investing in our own local economies.
The domestic banking sector is already feeling the shocks, Muya added.
As I was just preparing for this interview, we were trying to do a transaction. I'm told that some of the banks in South Africa, like Standard Bank and First Rand, have also had to close shop. And you know very well that for Namibia, any transactions that you make here as well, they have to actually make sure that there is actually involvement in that whole process with the South African offices or branches around there, or the head offices there. So that's a very, very worrying situation, yes.
He says the spate of violence across parts of Africa also cast a shadow of doubt on the much-anticipated Africa Free Trade Area, which seeks to stimulate economic growth and regional integration of people and goods.
We're speaking about integration. Integration really means that we have to open up our borders, means that we have to be able to allow the free movement of goods and people. And one of the concerns within that agreement has really been the issue of security in some of our economies. And it will be very worrying that these developments actually happen, that on one side we're talking about integration, and then on the other, the opposite actually is what is happening.
Meanwhile, the NCCI, a conglomerate of thousands of local businesses, also demands an impact assessment of the relief grants extended to local business, saying some complaints of delays in approval were raised and it remains unclear how many benefited. Muya says in a quest to revive the SME sector, they partnered with SME Compete to provide grants to promising business ideas ranging between 6 and 60,000 Namibian dollars through a program dubbed Pitch for Resilience. Kaipa Herekanji, NBC News, Windhoek.